GM, RFG, you sound like you're in a tin box, unfortunately. And now I can hear your music even though you're muted, so just Twitter things. Maybe it's me. I'll go out and come back. There you go. There you go.
Oh, did
Now
it
we can
just kick
actually hear
in?
you. It did.
Incredible.
Before that, it was like sort of like the essence of RFG in a different room. Whispers of Lime, RFG.
Well, this is why I picked this song. GM, make sure to retweet the room. I'm gonna get started here in a couple seconds. GM, everybody. I don't know why it took like a solid minute for my phone to start working, even though it said I was here, but we're here now. So
that's all that matters.
Watching the end of this auction for Noun 612, this greasy wizard, 2 overpowered trades, in my opinion. And I'm surprised it's going for this low, 27.23. I can't help but wonder if it's because of the time.
Well, it's not a great time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
For us here in Eastern time zone anyway. And it's even worse for the people in West Coast. I think it's like a combo, at least in North America, where it's the very middle of the night on the PST coast and it's the very early morning in the EST. So not great, as they say.
But
I was kind of hoping that we would get a little bit of a bidding war on this greasy wizard.
Did I had to miss the start of the show yesterday. Did y'all get to play FOMO?
Well, about that, no. We've been getting botted still by whoever is doing this. And I did release the alpha yesterday that we were speaking with Forager, one of the original devs of FOMO, and he was looking at his back, and then according to him, whoever has been botting FOMO never stopped. They just stopped tweaking the bot, and so the last round of symbol changes that they put on the back end, basically kept the bot at bay for a couple months, but now they may be tweaking the bot again to try to compete. So what are you going to do? Some people just don't have friends, and this is how they interact with the world.
Yeah, can't say I'm surprised. But, can't win everything. We've only got about a minute left. I don't think another bid's going to come in. I think everybody in the time zone that this is convenient for has bid already. But I could be completely wrong because there is a 28.6 bid pending right now. So ignore me.
Yeah, but, well, that's one of the rules of 9 o'clock live. If we call out a bid as the last possible bid, then another bid will come in immediately. So
is that right? We should do that more often.
Yeah, we should do that more often. Hopefully we get a little bidding war here, because even though we've been getting botted on FOMO, a nice little bidding war would get us forward in maybe 30 minutes or so.
That's how we with the cat. That's how we move forward to 6:30 from 6 a.m.
Yeah, if we just get lucky enough to get a cat every day, then we would raise the treasury. We would double the treasury within a week.
Yeah.
And we would move forward into an amenable time. One thing we should do is introduce our guest. We have the awesome folks from artmatr here. They were the recent successful proposers at NounsDAO. We're going to hear about their proposal and what they're going to be working on. Also, artmatr, I think this is your first time on 9 o'clock live, so we'll give you a quick rundown, and as well as anyone else who's here for the first time. What we do here is we watch the end of the NounsDAO auction, which is an auction that happens once a day, and that's where the nouns come from. Every single day, one noun is born. That noun goes to auction, and that's how the DAO grows. So we get together every single day and have done so now for 236 or 7 days in a row since June of last year at what we call Noun O'Clock to watch the end of this auction. And then we have a game that we play called fomonouns, and you can join us and play it with us at fomonouns.wtf. And this game is basically a gamification of the settlement layer of the auction. So it allows us to sort of play like a hot or not type game with the noun that would be minted on every Ethereum block. And if we get consensus, then we would mint the next noun. However, we have been getting botted to all hell over the last week or so. Someone is messing with us, and we haven't been able to play that game. So it may well be that we'll get to FOMO, try to play, the bot will have its way with us, and we'll just get whatever noun it decides, which kind of sucks. However, we do have another game that's like a 60-second game after that called No Mo Nouns, which we developed in-house here at TNS, so we will get to play that no matter what. And then after that little fun and games period, we're going to dive right in and ask some questions and find out all about what you guys are working on. Sound good, artmatr?
Sounds fantastic.
There's one other thing that we do every day that some of the newer faces in the crowd might not know about, which is the retweet picker. Every single day here at the Noun Square, if you retweet the room, you have a chance to win 0.069 ETH. So make sure you retweet the room, because easiest money you've ever made.
Yes.
Awesome. And yeah, Robot Fish Girl, you just reminded me of the Discord. It's 247 days today straight that we've done this show. Time does fly. So appreciate you guys being here with us. We'll have to do something special for 250th show this week.
Hell yeah.
We did indeed get another bid, though, so we got a little bit more time.
Awesome. I did think that we would get a little bidding war for this guy. He's pretty aesthetic. I'm not going to lie.
That we've been looking for a greasy wizard for a long time, I think.
Yeah, and then there's the NounsDAO one that we've been looking for. Sorry, that was I don't even know what that means. But so how much time?
It's 6:30 in the morning. You get a pass.
Thank you. So the way it works, by the way, is that every time we get a bid, it gets extended by about 4 minutes or so. So right now we've got 4 minutes left, possibly longer than that. It all kind of depends on what happens in the next 4 minutes. So maybe, RFG, what we can do is ask artmatr to give us a quick intro in 3 minutes or less on who they are, and then we'll sort of gauge where we're at and see if we've got another 5 minutes to chat with them before we play our little games.
Lightning round. I like it. artmatr?
Sounds great. Can I jump in?
Absolutely.
Superb. My name is Ben Schritt. I have a couple other folks from the team, Joshua and Federica, I think, on board. I founded artmatr at the MIT Media Lab about little over 8 years ago. But I come from the more traditional art space. I'm a painter, co-founded a school in Jerusalem, 1997, where I taught kind of academic painting and drawing, taught at the Met, National Gallery, London, those sorts of places. But over decades of both teaching and being a professional artist, showing in galleries in New York and Paris, and teaching, I got pretty frustrated about seeing virtually every creative space upended by digital tech, with painting being probably the one exception. So that is, over time, what landed me in academic and tech circles, trying to figure out how to bring people from the digital space into the physical via painting machines. So I started prototyping a whole bunch of tools. Early on, we were teaching people with disabilities, with limited motor skills, to be able to paint using different types of sensors and lasers and eye trackers, things like that. But we were also building tools for professional artists. And we quickly got the attention of many of the world's leading traditional artists, like the Jeff Koons, Chuck Close level, and also some emerging. But then we more recently got into the generative art space, and I feel like we're with people like Tyler Hobbs, and many others, and we feel like we're kind of creating this new language of taking all of the the tremendous innovation on the digital imaging side and moving it into the physical, kind of creating a new language and a new set of tools as we go. So we have a lab in New York, lab in Israel. We have both academic, technical, creative partners all over the world. And I love what you guys are doing. I'm just so psyched to be able to explore this with you.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Is that a short
and also
intro?
Excellent summary, because we've still got a minute 40 left, so that was perfect.
I can keep going.
Assuming we don't get another bid, yeah. You can keep going, yeah. Well, you'll hear this really obnoxious countdown timer when when we've got 30 seconds left.
I love being interrupted. So
usually we have to like power tackle our guests to be like, sorry, time to play.
I'll shut up very quickly.
Get down, Mr. President.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to just on like a very simple level, our tools, we built the robotics platform from the ground up, all of the actual kind of digital brushes which extrude paint of all kinds. We mostly use oil paint for the paintings. It's something that's most familiar to artists and the most flexible, but we work with everything. And we can print on three-dimensional objects, certain cases using robotics or custom designed printers, and everything. Well, I think one distinction is that everything that comes out of the lab off of the tools is totally unique. This is not a print; it's a unique painting.
Get down, Mr. President.
I'm down.
No, we got another bid. Did
we really? Oh my god!
There's another bid.
Yeah, we did. It's 4 minutes and 40 seconds on the. Every time we get another bid, if the timer is at less than 5 minutes, it resets to 5 minutes. So just keep going. We'll tell you when.
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
We've got this very interesting show mechanic where we never know how much time we're going to have to chat with our guests before the game, because it all depends on how many bids heat up in this auction. So
right.
But there's nothing worse than when we accidentally cut in on the guest and then there's a new bid and I didn't have to. So apologize about that. Continue.
Well, I hope that I keep talking for your sake.
We hope so too. I think it's really cool. It's kind of like what you guys are doing is like in a way AI, but it's like physical AI. I guess it's
physical AI. That's brilliant. It's physical AI. Yeah. And the way Tyler Hobbs put it in thinking about the difference between working digitally and working physically, it's like you just said something like physical has something like infinite resolution. Like there's a limit to pixels, there's a limit to a screen in terms of the depth. So he can take the same methodology, the same approach, but it just keeps going on and on. It keeps changing when organic material is introduced into the mix. So I feel that's interesting. It's not either or.
Can you expand on that a little bit? Because honestly, my first thought would have been the opposite. I would have thought that like digital was limitless and physical was the opposite. So how is that?
Yeah. So forgive me if I'm getting too philosophical, but not philosophical, but
never.
I'm not sure what the word is.
We're here for it.
Thank you. Fantastic. We have hours. So I read a quote ages ago from Cezanne, reported to Cezanne, where he said, "People come into the Louvre through nature, and they come back to nature through the Louvre." Meaning, like they get interested in art making because of their physical experience with the world, and then they come back to the physical world. They reframe what they're seeing and contacting in the physical world through the methodology of art, of their art practice. So when I saw Tyler's talk, How to Hack a Painting, he goes through this process of seeing what a physical mark looks like with paint, and then trying to build the algorithm to recreate some of the same effects, right, through a mathematical process. And then he's been down that rabbit hole and taken that really far, and now he wants to take that process that imitates nature and bring it back to nature, right? So
that is so sick.
It's really sick because now he's taking this, he's made nature his own, and now he's bringing his understanding of nature back to nature in this way that creates something which is wholly him, but is totally organic at the same time.
That's fantastic. This is fascinating to me because I've tried to do similar things with sound.
Mm-hmm.
I have a modular synth that I play with sometimes.
Yeah.
And I try to do something similar where I'll hear like bird song and I'll try to make my modular synth make the same noises.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then this is like taking it an extra step and taking all of the things that you figured out digitally and going, okay, now how can I set this up and like precisely control how the speaker vibrates to make this noise?
Exactly. Yeah, it's very, very similar.
That's so sick.
It's really fun, you know?
Oh, that's going to break my brain to think about. Okay.
I feel like we're creating a new language.
One of the types of... So I was just going to say, one of the types of art that this reminded me of when I was reading the proposal was the type of art that's actually quite popular for TikTok artists and YouTube artists, a lot of modern artists, where they take sort of the paint cans and they put them on the ropes and then they sort of let them swing around a canvas. Yeah. And it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, even though that's like probably the most primitive way of the most primitive machine, I guess, you could make to paint for you. It is kind of a machine in a way, because it uses just the natural ellipses or whatever of the hanging ropes. Is that sort of a similar kind of inspiration to what you guys are doing with the robotics at artmatr?
It's interesting. I came at this thinking about really, like, I literally taught engineers at MIT how to paint by bringing them into museums and copying old master paintings. And the reason for doing that, I'll get back to the question about the pouring of the paint, but like I did that because I wanted them to see firsthand how something incredibly complex, as the most incredible paintings ever made are, yet they're all created from a bunch of marks, and each mark that you make has a few things that you can tweak. It's got a shape, right? It's got an edge, it has a color, and it has a kind of layer of transparency to it. And if you can recreate the marks, you can recreate any painting. So I wanted to kind of get to the primitives of the space, the basic building blocks of paintings. And
the theory.
And
that's pretty cool. I thought you were going to say that you did that so that they could paint like several versions of the Mona Lisa, and then you'd be able to steal it in the big heist.
Well, there was that too.
But that might be a different. Different movie. I'm thinking
you
of.
Caught me. That was the end of it.
We have a minute left on the auction. Just going back to Auction Watch.
Yeah.
Now
currently
612 at 30.37 ETH. 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining. Do you think we're going to FOMO this time?
I don't know. I mean, probably.
Well, one thing
I may or may not be saying we will because I want another bid.
One thing I will say is that if we do go to FOMO in the next minute or so,
called it.
I'm going back to bed.
Excellent.
Right,
Excellent.
That's fine because I could carry this. This is fantastic. No, it's fascinating to hear you talk about teaching engineers because like I've always had a math brain, but I majored in music because I was already good with computers. I felt safe majoring in unemployment in jazz voice. So, but that was the way that it was the jazz was broken down to me as we went over and broke down solos and compositions by these of like the Great American Songbook, and studied chord progressions and how solos were structured from like a theory perspective, from basically a mathematical perspective, so that we could then incorporate it. What's the saying? Learn the rules like a pro, break them like an artist.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the saying, it is now.
Yeah, you learn them like a pro, so you can break them like an artist.
Right.
And it's I guess it never occurred to me that you could do the same thing with visual art, but obviously you can. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and getting back to what the pouring paint videos, I was fascinated by those. And although it's like a different type of machine than we built because it's kind of specific to that, it reminded me of things that like Jackson Pollock did to engineer the paintings that he made. He would literally have, even though he's kind of seems like he's just throwing paint around in a kind of haphazard way, he had specific brushes that had a very specific amount of water on them. So when he dipped it in oil paint with a very precise amount, it would fly off the brush in a very, very specific way. So he became attuned to these very, very idiosyncratic tools in a way that only he could do, and he could do it better than anyone else on the planet to achieve the result he wanted. You know, it was only a tool that could do that thing, but he did it so well, he developed an entire practice out of it. You know, so
what
that explains the
aspects
consistency between them too. Yeah. Huh.
are the most difficult to solve for, in your estimation, when you've worked on these projects?
You know, there was a lot. There have been and continue to be a lot of difficult technical challenges, but the hardest thing that we've had to solve is the kind of communication gap between artists and engineers, because like the language of something that drives an inkjet head, or you know, the complicated electronics behind the machine is something that is so specific to that field. If you're in the creative space, chances are you're going to have no idea, even though they might be speaking English or whatever language you speak, you're going to have no idea what they're talking about. So finding ways where we could have these two people from kind of diverse parts of the spectrum come together and be able to understand each other, and we did that by building this stuff in whatever way we could to the point where they could come into a room and point at what they were talking about. So it wasn't something that needed to be, you know, to go through translation, either from technical to creative or creative to technical, just you know, speaking different languages. So we have this ecosystem now we have this network of people that can span all of that, from the creative side that have no technical understanding to the engineers that have no background in art. That's been the biggest challenge. That's what I'm most proud of.
That's fantastic.
That actually sounds like a microcosm for NounsDAO, because NounsDAO has so many different people in the DAO of all different backgrounds. We have devs and artists and people of all different skills and backgrounds. And it is interesting to see that type of collaboration. So it's interesting to hear you say that that's a similar sort of challenge or something to work through that you guys are having.
That is what I felt when I came in contact with you guys. And that's why I was so excited about this proposal, because if I have to say like the one thing that we still have more time, or I'm going to get
yes, you're good. You're good. We'll let you know. We're good.
So this is just like my appreciation to you. I started all of this from a burning passion, not just to bridge digital and physical, but I would say primarily from the frustration of the insularity of the traditional art world, total lack of transparency, kind of sense of kind of mafia between galleries, museums, auction houses, small number of people trying to control the dynamic and the dialogue around what's important without giving the public a vote. And I felt like every other creative discipline, the public is able to vote either in likes, voting with their wallet, box office receipts, right? Whatever it is, there's been all these mechanisms that have allowed more and more for the democratization of every creative space, and that's another way that I think painting has been left behind, and it's what you know, NFTs and DAOs have opened up to the world, and it's inspiring. So it's like there's a culture element there that we're trying to learn from and develop ourselves that you guys are leading. So frankly, like I'm here to learn from you.
And vice versa, because this is fascinating to listen to. This is
I really mean that. It's like it's such a sea change. It's so exciting. It's something.
There does seem to be a lot of overlap, yeah, because I agree with what Tody said. The culture definitely seems to be very aligned between these two things of like having a place where people from all these different backgrounds, whether it be tech or art or whatever, you know, there's always somebody from one background looking for somebody from another background to create something complete. And it's cool when you have a place, in your case, a physical location, where that can happen. And I love what you said about being able to just point at something and being like, that's what I'm talking about. Like I can't even fathom how useful that would be.
It really is. I just wanted it that simple. Literally something you just come in and point to. And it's like as a funny anecdote. When I did a kind of search for industry. When we started building these things, we were looking at all different types of tools, airbrushes, and all different types of valves and inkjet heads, and we tried.
Oh, 30 seconds left, so hold that thought.
Gotcha.
We might not get another bid after this one.
Okay.
I told you we'd tell you.
Interestingly enough, these two bidders have been going back and forth, and they both have quite a bit of ETH in their wallets. So we could get a last-minute bid, but no, not anymore.
No, not at this point.
All right, so we're going to fomonouns.wtf. Fomonouns.
Or nomo-preview.vercel.app, depending on what you want to use.
Let's try to vote down immediately and see if we can hold off the bot. And narrator, they could not.
And I'm still stuck on click to enable voting, so.
It's attempting to settle.
Well,
the next one was a cat.
The next one was a cat.
And the next one was a cat.
Close.
I like the UFO with this accessory, though.
I will say that even though we've been getting bought it all to hell for the past week, somehow the random nouns have been great. Maybe we should just quit what we're doing. We'll stop what we're doing. We're not.
We'll stop 3 days after our prop pass. That's a good idea. In the meantime, nomo.wtf. We still have one more game where we can play. So nomo.wtf or nomo-preview.vercel.app. Both of them are going to look the same. So nomo.wtf. Pick your favorite noun. You can see all these about 30 nouns that are on the screen. You're going to pick your favorite. You're going to choose your character. And just as soon as the timer finishes counting down, it's at about 13 seconds right now, you are going to spam click as fast as you can, and we're going to rescue one of these nouns that we would have been able to pick during FOMO if we got to play it.
All right, nomo.wtf. Artmatr, come play with us. You'll enjoy it, I promise.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this floating cookie head.
What are we going for?
I'm going for the floating cookie. Or the robo ring. I'm going for the robot ring.
I kind of like the floating cookie head.
I do really like the floating cookie head, though. Yeah. My wrist already hurts.
There's cookies and milk. Should we have cookies versus milk as our final battle today?
Oh, yeah, you know what? We should.
I think that battle has been lost, to be honest.
I'm going for... I dropped the robot ring. I don't love it.
Sorry,
if you're not noticing your clicks coming through, by the way, make sure to connect your wallet. We have it so that you have... A lot of people have to connect their wallet in order to play, so...
Final battle!
Oh my God.
Cookies and milk!
Cookies
I was on the milk. I'm gonna switch to the cookie now because I like it more, but...
Let's go!
Wow, is nobody picking the milk now that I'm not on it? Okay, there we go.
Switching over to team milk. This is for you, Seneca.
This is not even close.
You're getting you're getting badly beat by floating cookie. Oh.
Beautiful.
So now the question that this begs for Artmatr is this art? Or is it just fantasy?
And the question that Artmatr will ask in return is, why are you like this?
Why are you the way that you are? Hopefully you got to play with us. What was your first Nomo experience like, Artmatr?
Other than a sore wrist.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Complete and utter fascination.
Oh, I thought you were going to say utter chaos, which I would have accepted also. Well, thank you for playing.
I like fascination, though. That's a good, some wordly wise word. That's.
I'm a sucker for the floating heads, as I said during the game. It's one of the kind of quirks of Nomos that obviously we've used different backgrounds than the standard nouns. Usually nouns have just two warm and cool colors as their backgrounds, and of course Nomos have the two Noun Square colors as their backgrounds, the yellow and the red that our art director Sir Nodes put together for us in early days. And so that results in some nouns that end up with floating heads because of a yellow gradient or whatever at the top of their body. So that's why this cookie looks like he's basically like having his head float above his body. That was quite the long explanation for why this cookie looks the way that he does. Quick blurb on Nomo before we get back to the guest. Nomo is a game that we developed in-house here at the Noun Square so that if we were getting botted or people were messing with FOMO, we would always have a game to play because we built in some pretty good Sybil resistance into this game so no one can bot it. Shouldn't challenge people probably publicly to that end, but there's some nice rate limiters on there. And it's a lot harder to bot and to mess with, so we'll always have this game to play together. Also, it just allows us to have some fun, mint something together to remember that we were here today on this day on this show. And so if you'd like to mint a memento of that, you can do so for $10 USD, 0.069 ETH for the culture. However, the price on this open edition does go up over time. So it's a bonus if you're here with us at 9 o'clock. It's pretty cheap. But if you try to grab it later in the day, it's going to be more expensive. So that's how this open edition works. Once you have that Nomo in your wallet, you enter yourself into draws every single day on the show. We'll do one later today for someone who minted yesterday's Nomo and lots of other things, including access to custom drops and things that are coming down the line for Nomo. That's the Nomo spiel. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all your support. All of the mints. That's right. All the mints at Nomo go to help us do what we do here at TNS and become more crypto natively self-sufficient. Thank you, artmatr, for your patience. I know it's always a bit weird when we have to kind of take a break in the middle of a conversation, but hopefully you enjoyed being subjected to our version of art.
Immensely. Thank you. I also feel a little bad for monopolizing the conversation. I got so excited. We have a couple.
No. We love this.
Thank you. I also there's two members of the team that are also on. If they wanna pipe in, Joshua and Federica, aka Faye. I don't know if either of them wanted to pipe in as well.
So we do have 0x3y3. I saw Faye earlier, but I lost her in the crowd. I'll see if I can find her and bring her up in the meantime.
Cool.
Oh, there she is.
GM, everyone. Bear with
GM.
me. The coffee is still coming online.
Trust me, guys, intimately familiar.
Yeah, I bet you know.
How's the UV drip, the IV drip? Sorry, going.
We got the mocha pot in the house, so trying to just like crank some strong like mud-like substance into my brain right now.
It's here at the Noun Square, we find that it's an important part of running the show that we keep the blood in our caffeine systems down to a suitable percentage. So definitely get that.
I relate to that. I'm on my second, third espresso.
The Nomo thing was super fun. I think I was like the only person trying to make CRT head happen.
That happens sometimes. It can be frustrating when you're the only one championing.
No, it's all good though. Like Cookie Head was cool. I had a good time playing. I'll do it if I find myself awake at this hour again. I'll be there.
Amazing. Well, keep in mind, so this show moves every day. We're not just crazy and decide to do a show at 3:30 in the morning PST, 6:30 in the morning EST. This gets decided for us by the gods of nouns. So 9 o'clock moves a little bit every day, depending on how contentious the auction is at the end of the day and how long it takes us to play fomonouns. And so because of that, it can drift by like 15 minutes to 30 minutes every day. So when we started doing this show in June of last year, it was 6 p.m. EST. We've gone all the way around the clock once, all the way around the clock again, and now we're at 6:30 a.m. EST. So basically,
tomorrow is actually going to be at 6:50. We moved by 20 minutes today.
Nice. So we're finally getting ourselves almost to like a decent hour in EST. But just to let you know, I didn't want you to think that we were like, what time would be a good time for the show? Well, I don't know. How about 6:30 a.m. EST? That's not how it happened. It was we were subjected to it rather than vice versa.
We're not quite that crazy.
Well, I respect the commitment. to tracking the Nouns auction, and like the fact that you guys have given up any semblance of hope for having a normal sleep schedule for the rest of your lives. That's really respectable.
That's our secret.
That's
our secret is we didn't have a sleep schedule prior or a life, and so it was not as big of a sacrifice as it might otherwise.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've been in the space from the beginning. I'm a jazz musician and a techie. Like what?
And I'm a toad.
Yeah,
but no, tell us more about it from your perspective. What is your role at artmatr?
Yeah, so I joined the team a couple weeks ago. Came on as a project manager and someone kind of helping develop our relationships in the Web3 space. I've been in crypto art since 2020, and I'm an artist myself, but also just kind of really focused on community development. And I come from kind of the Tezos community, but have been around ETH and art blocks and everything from the get go. So I was I'm helping kind of whip the team in New York into shape a little bit, and then also just kind of acting as a little bit of a tether or like a way to connect to the broader Web3 community as we kind of, as I think as Ben was kind of talking about, like we I think we're like natively Web3, like what artmatr is doing is like very natively crypto art, just kind of coincidentally. Like what we're doing is mirroring the sort of efforts at decentralized or democratic community building and tool sharing and discovery that that Web3 is kind of orbiting around. So I think like we're really closely aligned with a lot of the exciting and cool projects that are happening, and like we just want to find ways that we can share our toolkit and like inspire other people in the space and provide opportunities for exploration.
awesome. Now I'm sad I moved. I lived in Manhattan until like 2 months ago.
Oh, you should. I mean, next time you come back through town, just like hit us up. Come through the space. It's like
absolutely. I need to see this. This sounds so cool.
Yeah,
soon enough there'll be like a Nouns Experience New York that we'll be able to market as like a tourism thing. You can come through, you can see the mural. I don't know if the mural's still up, but maybe we can make it a permanent installation. We could go go see some of the art ateliers of some of the different artists that are working on things in Nouns, and then drop by artmatr. Be a whole 1-day experience in Nouns. That'd be kind of cool. And by the way,
maybe, hit up Tom Socks. I saw he's front running this a little bit, but that's cool. Like we're totally down.
Yeah, no problem, Tom. No NBD. Yeah, we don't mind.
If you're in the audience here, Tom, it's cool. Just DM me and we can shake all this out. It's gonna be totally
if you are in the audience, Tom, why are you in the audience? Come on up on stage, mix it up. For those who didn't see, I actually did pin it up in the nest earlier, but Tom Socks posted yesterday that he drew a noun, first of all, noun 311, and he said, I wanted a NounsDAO noun, so I made my own. If you want to trade my IRL noun for one of your digital NFT nouns, DM me for a trade. It's gouache, crink, and whiteout on Bristol paper. I missed the whiteout last time when I read it. That's amazing. Whiteout is as part of the art medium, 23 inches wide by 29 inches, and then there's a little picture of the noun that he drew. And so a couple nouners I know are already looking into the potential of trading an actual NFT noun for this physical noun. So that would be a pretty cool, interesting thing. And I don't think it necessarily front runs you. I think it just shows that it's a good idea.
Oh yeah,
raise your hand if
I was
you
joking.
type the hex in. If you went and looked at that wallet manually.
What's that?
Yeah, what is the wallet? I'm curious because I saw that.
Yeah, what is it? What's in the wallet? What's in the box?
I didn't do it. I just asked everyone to raise their hand if they did. Now, though.
Usually when people say that, Symbio, it's because there's some like big reveal.
Yeah, and also when you're the one saying it, I assume you've done it because I just assume you've done all of the degen things before I've heard about them. Which, to be fair,
to my defense, I am dyslexic, so it would be relatively impossible.
Relatively
6s for 9s and whatnot.
I believe in you.
I'll get back to you on this, though. I'll pin up the Etherscan in a moment.
All right.
Sweet.
I have some specific questions about what you guys are going to be doing. So the paintings of the nouns. So there's one painting of a noun that looks pretty true to the original in the prop. Is that what the paintings are going to look like, or will they be more like abstract, or do we not know yet? Just curious about that piece.
It's yeah, maybe Ben's got some things to add here, but I, as the project manager, I can tell you that what what happens in the Art Matter studio is always a sort of open-ended process of discovery. And so like we have some off-the-shelf really wild tools that we can use, but also sometimes when we're working with artists or even just experimenting in the lab ourselves, that process can go all sorts of different directions. And I think, I mean, to answer your question, the mock-up used in the proposal is sort of a off-the-shelf inkjet over over medium process that we have in house. But I think we're going to do a lot. We're going to do some exploration. We're going to do some experimentation, and we're going to find interesting and novel ways of reifying and bringing into the world the nouns that we'll be producing.
So
Very cool. For anyone who's not familiar with the proposal, can you maybe run through a little bit what the plan is in terms of bundling it with the auctions, etc.?
should I take this?
For sure. Oh yeah, Ben, go for it.
Yeah, so we're going to as Joshua said, we have lots of processes, and this is a creative suite of tools that can go any direction that we choose. So we're going to take one. We're going to paint one a day for a week for 7 days, culminating in an exhibition. And we're working on the overall theme to tie them all together, but they all are going to be very, very different. So I think we're still devising the plan. We'd love to chat with you guys a little bit offline, and then we'll announce exactly what the plan is shortly for the works. I don't want to spoil it until we know we're 100%. Is that okay?
Yes, that is fine.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, we always appreciate the alpha here, so it means you will have to come back and give us that alpha, but that's fair.
With great pleasure.
I think it'll be I think a really aligned and nounish sort of exploration or discovery of what we're doing. I mean, we'll try a bunch of different things. We'll find some really wild or weird shit that I think will translate the nouns really well, and then we'll wake up early as early as we have to and hit the button, and it'll come into being live, and it'll be live streamed, so you guys, everyone in the community, can see it happening as the auction's going. So I think it'll be super fun.
That's so sick.
That was actually another part that we didn't talk about as part of the stuff that we do. In addition to, like, we have this process of bringing digital to physical, which we explained, but we also do the opposite. In other words, we try and use the physical to create as quality digital content as we can. So 3D scans, time lapses, live streaming, simulations, that kind of stuff. We have a bunch of SDI cameras and a whole bunch of live streaming equipment to make all of the process as clear to people that are remote as possible, including artists themselves. They work this way. So we'll have multiple angles, super high resolution, and the ability for the public to come in and see what's going on real time through the whole process.
That's so cool. Yeah, I noticed in the prop you said you were going to stream it on Twitch, and I know what I'm doing for a week.
If you want to come in and visit, do, please. We'd be thrilled.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I will. I'm in North Carolina now, but I will take a bus up to come by while this is happening, because that's fantastic.
Amazing.
How's the Twitch service on Greyhound?
Actually, surprisingly good. Greyhound has a free Wi-Fi, so it's I've streamed from a Greyhound before.
We do have Faye. Faye has joined us as well now, so maybe she can weigh in too on her experience. Welcome, Faye. Can you hear us? Oh, I'm not hearing her. Do you hear her? Robot, am I rugged?
I'm getting nothing either. I'm hearing static, but
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Faye, you know that you have to use your phone for Twitter Spaces. You can't use a laptop.
if it wasn't a phone, we wouldn't have been able to bring her up.
Oh, right.
At all.
Oh, right. True.
Nonetheless, that doesn't mean that's the only thing that could be wrong with Twitter. There's lots of things that could be wrong with Twitter Spaces at any one time.
What are you talking about? Twitter is a flawless platform with no flaws. We've got over.
Yeah. It makes it very interesting on us. Sometimes we can only hear certain people. Sometimes they can only hear us. It's kind of like a little puzzle every day where we try to see if we can speak to each other normally. Unfortunately, we can't hear Faye right now. If she goes down and comes back up, we can try again. Another option is she could try telling us her experience at artmatr using only emojis. I don't know how she feels about that.
Only the limited palette of emojis that Twitter provides. Can you tell an entire story using 8 emoji sign language? Let's go.
That is most of my communication with my 11-year-old daughter. It's 95% emojis. So I think I could kill
He's like,
this.
I've been training for this my whole life.
Exactly. I feel like
I'm ready.
I want to start over and just use emojis. That's the thing. That's the next thing.
That would be a cool project for artmatr. Just making trying to building a project that you had to program using emojis and then see what comes out of it.
I love that. I really love that. All right.
Could be fun.
We have our next project lined up.
Oh boy. What have I done?
What have you done?
See, this is
actually that would be a really good
making my life really hard.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm about to make it harder. You could also do a thing where you could integrate it with Twitch so that if people subscribed or whatever, then and put emotes in the message, then it could influence what was going on. I'm sorry.
This is turning into our space yesterday with Digital Oil, which was just basically Toady saying, "Why didn't you also do this? How about this?" Digital Oil being politely "Yeah, you got lots of ideas, don't you, Toady? Do your own prop." No. That's
and you're like, I just did.
That's my recollection of how it went anyway. But no, this has been really fun. As soon as I saw your prop, I don't know why I had trouble finding your socials. I was trying to bring you guys on the show during the prop process and I couldn't find your socials, but really glad that Cardinal tracked you down and that you guys were able to come on and talk about this. And now we don't even have to talk in uncertainties because it's been approved. It's going to happen. And I'm excited to see.
System DM, you came up a little while ago. You had a question?
Look.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to say that this is super interesting to me. I love what artmatr is doing. I wish I had sort of been able to pay attention to this earlier. I've been super busy, but it's sparking all the neurons in my brain about all the work that I've been doing with the paper sculptures and the digital and the physical and the hybrid nouns and all that. So I just wanted to say I think this is amazing. I'll really, really look into it and hopefully we can chat some more about all these ideas I have and about your work, and hopefully I can see it next time I'm in New York. So
System, do you want to
together?
You want to explain a little bit of what you're doing with hybrid nouns?
Well, sure. Hybrid nouns. Yeah, hybrid nouns is a project that started. It's kind of a hybridizing nouns, right? So we take two nouns and hybridize them, and I started doing that as physically actually on the computer, and then doing physical paper sculptures from them. And then now I've partnered with Sebastian, and we're doing we did a website where it's done digitally, and it makes NFTs, and we auction them every 10 days, and we have all these ideas about there's the daily hybrids and the nounder hybrids and all these different options, and so we're just starting and doing all these things, and basically what's really interesting to me in all this is this idea of a random sort of nearly random sort of generative thing that then turns analog or then turns physical and can become a physical object, a sculpture in space. And it could go from a paper sculpture like the ones I make up to street art and all kinds of things. And anyway, so we're just all these ideas about the project and how to develop it, even thinking about a DAO, to focus on art in the Caribbean region, which is where I'm from. Anyway, I just have a whole bunch of ideas about things we can do with all this together. So I think it's amazing. Thank you for the opportunity.
Very cool.
By the way, to build on that, hybridnouns.wtf is the site that he mentioned, and if you go to it, it's really sick. All of you can see in his PFP what the hybrid nouns look like, but if you actually click the noun, it zooms out a little bit, and if you move your mouse to one side or another, it tilts the picture so that you see one or the other on the the little triangle two picture. I don't know what those are called.
Yeah, but, so you can see the parents of like which two nouns made the new noun, new hybrid, and so there's a whole thing also there with all the properties and all the sort of lineage of each one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah, no,
Thank
system. Shoot us a DM. We'd love to keep talking. Maybe we can find a cool way to collaborate.
Cool. I will definitely do that. Thanks a lot.
For sure.
Thanks a lot, and congratulations.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Where are you located exactly? In the Caribbean?
I'm in Dominican Republic.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
cool.
Dominican Republic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
But I go to New York often.
Come visit.
Definitely. I used to live there. I'll definitely go visit.
Unfortunately, Artmatr, I'm canceling my trip to come visit you, going to visit System DM instead. It's not personal.
That's the right call.
It's just really cold here in Canada, and you have to understand that.
Let's just do an event here where we can all get together at the beach and have a warm get together.
Oh God, please.
I'll see about.
I don't want to go back up to the frozen north.
Bringing them down to DR. We can.
That would
do
be
robots
awesome.
on the beach.
Robots on the beach.
Would be so cool.
Hell yeah.
That would be really cool.
New Super Tight Woody single, Robots on the Beach.
Oh yeah.
There's a new pop song emerging here.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much. I definitely will hit you up.
Sweet.
Right on.
So,
cool. We
funny
look
story. Artmatr, have you heard of Rocco before? Rocco, the Nouns AI?
No.
No. Tell us about Rocco.
Yeah, so there's a noun named Rocco. A noun was purchased by one of the founders of Nouns, 4156, last year, and basically, donated to the cause of AI research with nouns. And so there's a pod that was spun up to do artificial intelligence research with nouns, and it's really cool everything that they're working on. And one of the things that they sort of do is summarization of different content and discourse around the DAO. There was actually a podcast that was done by a community member, CDT, where he interviewed Rocco as his guest. And it was really funny because when you listen to the answers that Rocco gave, one of them was, where's your favorite place to go on vacation? And Rocco said the beach, which everyone thought was a pretty funny answer for a robot to give. So Rocco front ran you with robots on the beach.
That's
it's like
that's up there with. Why does that remind me of Olaf from Frozen? Like just talking about summer. It's the same tier.
There's something cute. There's something
Are
cute
you
about
sure?
a robot just wanting to go to the beach. I don't know.
There's something about robots and having self-preservation instincts of a depressed lemming. I don't know what it is.
The robots are like, when you get depressed in January, wait, why do you know this?
God.
I do definitely agree we should do a meetup in the DR. System DM, I actually said to my wife yesterday over dinner, I was like, we should go. We were talking about a possible vacation later next year, and I was like, we should go to the DR. I know someone there. And she's like, we're not going and staying with one of your cartoon friends in the Caribbean.
Everyone should come visit me next time I go home.
At least this cartoon friend is two people.
That's right.
We should definitely set this up. I'm saying we should definitely set this up. We'll rent a place. It'll be super cool. Just let me know and I'll handle it.
If it's possible,
let's do it.
If you could just take a picture with like a sign that says "definitely not a murderer" or something, that would go a long way. I'll DM you.
I'm DOS, so you can just look me up. Google my name.
Yeah, we've been on Zoom calls together. I can vouch.
Exactly. Yeah. You're a good guy.
Oh, I know you are.
Although me vouching for somebody might do more harm than good.
Yes, stop. You're not helping. Anyone else here have a question for our guests? Really excited and happy they were able to join us today. And it's always nice to be able to hear sort of the story behind the proposals, which we don't always get. So I appreciate you guys taking the time. I do have one more question, but just wanted to throw it out there for anyone else who might be in the crowd who has questions about it. Don't be shy. We're pretty friendly up here most of the time. So if you just request to come up, we'll bring you up. And if you are on stage already, then just unmute your mic and ask away. One question I had was about, so in the prop, you can see like sort of a pretty heavy duty machine in action. What process, is that the machine that kind of like holds the brushes and does the painting? Will that be used in the
Yeah.
or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah. No, you got it. You got it. We've got we have a number of machines that do everything on the robotic side, like the arm that kind of moves the brush around, and different types of brushes and software and a whole different range of inks and different types of chemistry. So we can play around with all of those things, but really it's all about the creative output. So we'll we might mix and match some of these tools and use different processes for different works. But we go with the flow, so we'll see what happens. But we will release ahead of time the theme that we're working with for the entire week that unites all of them.
That's awesome.
So,
I also love the concept of going with the flow with robots painting.
Yeah,
because we very finely program this so that we could go with the flow.
Exactly. It's literally. I think one of the things before that I think got cut off near the end there was after working for 6 months with the first engineers, like heavy duty inkjet specialists that have been working on this stuff for decades. It took us 6 months to work with them to come up with something that we could point to and said, this is fantastic. This is what we need. And they looked at me, they blinked their eyes instead of South Park fashion, and they said, this to us is catastrophic. I said, perfect. This to us is gold. Don't change it. They looked at us like, okay, so this is a broken machine. I'm like, yes, broken printer. This is what we're after. So these are carefully engineered fuck-ups. Pardon me.
I feel like the robot's
love that.
I've been like really carefully programmed to not care, bro. That's the robot.
Why are you doing an impression of Ben?
Well, Ben is.
I've been really carefully programmed to be chill.
Just a classic beach robot.
Beyond broken nozzles, how do you teach it to color outside the lines?
Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Coloring outside of the lines.
Very carefully.
Is it mathematics, or did you teach it to color outside the lines?
We actually,
it's the glitch.
Yeah. Every artist that comes through the door is actually a co-designer on the tools. Like, they learn to use them in a totally different way, and those changes get kind of incorporated into the system. And this happens on software and hardware and chemistry on all sides of that. So a lot of the artists that are coming through the door, clients are also join the advisory board, or they just kind of come on knowing that they're going to contribute their knowledge, their expertise, and their specific take on what they want to see out of these things.
God, I love this.
It's fun. It's really.
I'm still stuck on how you describe them. I'm still stuck on how you describe them as carefully engineered fuck ups. Because, like, well, for one, new Tinder bio. Two, it's wonderful to think about it that way, because, like, again, I'm coming at this from a musical perspective because that's my milieu, but it's that's the best way to discover things. It's like, repetition legitimizes. If you screw up the same way enough times, then it becomes intent.
Right.
So it's
RFG,
and that can be really fun.
RFG, why do you always say that's my jam, except for the one time that it really was your jam? That's what I want.
This is the whole thing with evolution as well, which is my whole thing with the hybrids. It's these random mutations that make it happen, and it's it's all about that. It's so cool, and so like everything clicks.
Love
yeah,
it.
like that random mutation of the cat into the
process.
Sorry.
Like no, it's all good, but as artists come in, they bring a totally different mindset than our engineers, and our tooling adapts and evolves in that collaborative space, and then what we can offer to artists keeps changing and growing and becoming more expansive. Like there's I don't know if you guys know about EAT Works. This was a project from the 70s. It's like one of the first like big digital art projects where like Robert Rauschenberg and a bunch of other total weirdos got hooked up with some Bell Labs engineers, and they started doing just absolutely wild shit because the engineers were like, "What do you want to do?" And the artists were like, "Wait, you have access to what sort of tech?" And it became this wild collaborative, like super creative space. And I think we're really following in the footsteps of those sorts of initiatives where we're bringing together these, oil and water in a certain way, but then they produce these super unexpected and really just amazing results.
Well, yeah, and I mentioned earlier that that's kind of a microcosm of nouns, but it's also just a microcosm of the NFT art space in general, where, like you said, there's these collaborations happening between code and art all the time, and AI now too. It's like a triple collaboration now with AI.
Yeah,
100%.
One thing, and I won't get too deep into it because, unless in case it wasn't abundantly clear, I can and will talk your ear off for hours about this stuff. But
please,
we have 23
hours.
We have 23 hours until the next auction.
We've got 23 hours until the next auction. We've got 3 hours until the next space. So we do technically have a limit. But have you experimented with sound at all, like sound and how it interacts with visual art?
We have actually. So in the beginning, I mentioned that we were building these painting machines to allow for people with any kind of limited motor skills, any kind of disability physically, to paint, to express themselves. So we basically found a way to track people's movement, their sound, their breath, their eye tracking, anything on their body could be translated to paint. At that point, at the point when we have any kind of sensor, including brain data, including from an EEG, it's just math. It's just math that we can translate to the tools.
Yeah.
So 100%. In fact, I just had a dancer choreographer who was in here, Yin Mei, who was talking about this very thing, incorporating sound as part of that sound and or movement into.
Yeah, this was a leading question to see if I should bring my tap shoes when I visit. That's what that was.
That's a yes. That's a yes.
Hell yeah! All right, let's do this.
I thought you just wore those everywhere.
I kind of do, honestly. My nickname in high school was literally Happy Feet. It's a problem.
Joshua, it's a hell yes to tap shoes, correct?
For this trip.
Sorry, what was that?
I said that's a hell yes to tap shoes.
That's a hell yes. Yeah, we can get the tap and the robot mixed up. It'll be amazing.
Awesome.
That's
Robot Fish Girl.
Oh yeah, that's this intersection is like my entire this is so cool.
We're creating art at the intersection of
Ben, she's fangirling again. And... Come get your mans.
It is yeah. All right, I'll call. The last time I was like this was when Slacks came on, so I'll stop.
Yeah, this is amazing. I'm giddy.
What sentiment could we leave everybody with, or what sort of morsel of what you guys are planning can we sort of leave off with here and let you guys enjoy your Your Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I meant Wednesday.
Right. No, it's Wednesday. For in general, or for the specific project.
For the
Okay.
like what's next?
So without
What do we look
revealing
forward
too
to?
much. Okay, so we are going to be we're going to be posting shortly what the theme, what the methodology, what the tools are that we're going to be using for that week of production, as well as the places where people can go, both to watch what's happening via live stream and also chat and chime in and be here in person for certain parts of it, as well as for sure for the ultimate exhibition we're doing here. So we want to host any and all. We want to we want to build the community. We want to learn from you guys, and in general, we're trying to bridge a lot of these kind of old, tried and true practices with more cutting edge tech, and so that has to do as much with the toolkit as it does with the community building. So like we're totally, as much as we're kind of drilling down on the stuff that we know, we're also totally open to new ways of building, expanding, and using the community to change what we're doing.
Yeah, I want to follow up on what Ben said. Just to reiterate, we are having a gallery exhibition of these nouns that will come out of our production laboratory on the 28th of March. So get your Greyhound ticket, plane ticket.
Why did you play that app? You unmuted halfway through that sound. What he was trying to say was...
I'm lagging badly, apparently.
Oh, okay. We have a soundboard full of sounds that I recorded, as well as some other ones. So that's what he was using, is the alpha sound effect.
Oh, nice. That is the alpha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark your cows. It's happening. We'll have some drinks. We'll cross collaborate, pollinate, scheme in the lab, and come hang out. We got a nice rooftop. It'll be a party, and we're hoping to make a cool space for the Nounish community in Brooklyn.
Come on, come all.
Awesome.
March 28th.
Awesome. So awesome.
Where's the FOMO sound effect?
What the time for FOMO? That one?
Well, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I'm sitting here FOMOing like the picture of Conan in the window.
The only other FOMO I know about is
FOMO time.
Oh.
But go ahead, Ben. Go ahead and keep explaining what you're talking about, because then we can always use
Time for Ben explains me badly.
So please give me an excuse.
30 hours on a plane that costs $3,500 to get here.
Yeah, that's right. It's not too bad. It's only a couple of days each direction.
We also have air mattresses and cots and couches. So
Hell yeah!
Just like this talk is going to go on for 24 hours, the party can go on for 24 hours as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that's really appreciated, because in case it wasn't abundantly clear, I'm not leaving.
Perfect.
Perfect.
This is what we love.
Ben is not kidding. We're basically. I mean, I got drawn into the artmatr family, which may actually be a cult now that I'm thinking about it. But
oh, good. There's some overlap with nouns.
NounsDAO.
I mean, nouns is not a cult. Never mind. We're not a cult. Definitely not a cult.
This space is being recorded.
100% certified.
It is.
Definitely not a cult.
It's just genuine old
We are
Kool-Aid,
not a cult either,
Joshua.
but
It's just real Kool-Aid. There's nothing in it.
God, I have been feeling really energetic and sort of creatively inspired recently. But
I thought that was the
the
sludge
air
that you were
mattresses
drinking
are a
earlier.
real thing. I don't. The sludge is, I think it wore off already. Now everything's just kind of twisting and warping in a beautiful way. But yeah, no, the air mattresses are actually there, and you can wake up surrounded by robots and crazy engineers and philosophers.
What could go wrong?
It's all pretty good.
That sounds like a nightmare I've woken up from before.
No, see, this is the thing, is that just sounds like
Dr.
my
Strangelove.
like
waking up on a
That
cot
too.
surrounded by crazy robots. That's my jam.
I'm
my
not
dream
one to
life you're
talk.
describing, so yeah, it's
If I look around my room right now, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different robots built out of Raspberry Pis. So,
Oh, woman after our own heart.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna fit right in. Ben,
this
clear out
does
that
sound
space in
very
the corner
very
of the
much my
loft,
stuff.
okay?
You're one of us. You are one of us.
They
Yeah.
are all just robots that pass the butter, right? RFG?
No, I've got one that shows when I'm live, like on a space. It hooks up to my phone and displays a little light over the door. I've got one that shows the daily nouns auction. Yeah, I've got a few different ones. Not to mention the like store-bought robots, like the vacuum and stuff like that.
Meanwhile, I have an actual Raspberry Pi that I'm eating right now. I don't know if that's or anything.
There are 2 kinds of people.
Am I cool too?
Both are good.
All right.
Hopefully
Well,
they're real raspberries.
we have a little bit of housekeeping to do here before we end for the day. But it's fun. It's fun housekeeping. It's giving away things. So we've got a PO app that RFG is going to help us with, which is a free NFT that everyone here at the space can claim. And then we've got a couple prizes to give away as well. So we do have Pong, has just joined the space. So we will just ask him or her what they have to say, and then we'll get into the PO app and the giveaways. It says Pong is a glassmaker and an NFT artist. And Pong, what's up?
Hey, GM, awesome room. You guys are having too much fun. I can't figure out where to go, and I'd love to know more about this possible show. And I'd also love you guys to just check out my buddy Mark, GMI Studio in the crowd. He makes physical metal sculptures. He just got in some crazy big stuff.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, you guys know. Okay.
Yeah, I think I know Mark. Yeah, I think I've seen his stuff before, but very cool. I'll invite him up here. Thanks for the shout out. And and I'm glad you said that. So if you do want to follow along with what artmatr are doing, obviously give them a follow up here on the dice, and they'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on. Also, follow the clock app up here. We've got Robot Fish Girl on the clock. It doesn't have the same ring to it as Toady Hawk on the clock, unfortunately, RFG, but we'll work on something. We'll have to do something. Well, we came up with Al 409 on the line, so we'll figure something out for RFG. But anyway, follow us here on the clock. We run a daily Twitter Spaces here that's centered around the NounsDAO daily auction, and we have a lot of fun, as you can see today. We go a little off the rails, but that's okay. And we also run about 38 spaces a week for other Nounish communities. So NounsDAO is kind of spawned because it's open source. It's spawned all these sub-communities that sort of cater to different lifestyles and different subcultures. Like, for example, Ben Body here is part of NounsDAO, which caters to like the extreme sports subculture, skateboarding culture, and there's a number of examples just like that. So we run spaces for these types of sub-communities all over the place all week long. So if you follow the clock, you'll definitely find your people if you listen to us for 1 week. That's the TNS guarantee, or your money back.
Or just join our Discord and ask, and we can just point you in the right direction. But preferably come to a show.
Why not both? Meme.
¿Por qué no los dos?
All right, let's do a PO app. Let's give everybody a free NFT, and then I've got a draw ready to go here. I've got 2 draws.
So, as Toady said earlier, PO app stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol. Free NFT we give away every single day here at the Noun Square. If you don't have the application already, you can go on your mobile device and go to poap.xyz. That is POAP.xyz. Once you have the application downloaded, sign in with a wallet, all that, you tap the mint button at the bottom right-hand corner. Then you tap secret word, And today's secret word is painting robots 224. Painting robots 224, all lowercase, all one word. So that is PAINTINGROBOTS 224. Painting robots 224. And then we get to play this really fun game that POAP has inflicted on us, where in order to make sure that you are not a robot while you are collecting this, you have to count up to 1,000 in random intervals by tapping the lowest number on the screen. I have gotten really good at playing this game and talking at the same time, and I wish that I didn't have to develop this skill. But yeah. So just to go over it one more time for anybody who may have missed it, the secret word is painting robots 224. And Tody, do you have a retweet picker for us while I was doing that?
He's probably getting rugged on sound while he does the secret word game. So I just want
I generated links.
No, this is interesting. I guess I just realized if you press the little microphone button, it mutes you, so nobody can hear you.
Oh yeah, that's something that trips people up a lot. I mean, it makes sense that you wouldn't know that because you've only been hosting spaces for 247 days in a row.
Bear with us. Bear with us. I have a winner though for you, if you're ready.
I am ready, and as soon as my soundboard is ready, there it is.
The winner is No Fun Token Art, Amanda from POAP. Looks like she works for POAP. So,
awesome.
Amanda, I'd like to propose a trade. 0.069 ETH for retweeting the room. In exchange, you will maybe just lightly talk to Patricia about making the game a little bit easier for us to claim our POAP every day. Does this seem like
this is not a bribe? This is a prize and encouragement.
Amanda's laughing down there. She says, I find the game hard too. No, she didn't say that. But congratulations, Amanda. We love POAP. We've given out so many POAPs over the course of the run of our show. I guess over 250. Probably, sorry.
Oh, well over.
Yeah, probably like 300 or so.
300 something. I mean, we gave away 24 in one 24-hour period. So
this is true.
Or 26 actually, if you count the noun POAP. So
yes. So follow RFG here on the clock. She'll follow you back. We'll get in touch. Get your wallet address. Congratulations. Of course, we also do a draw for a lucky Nomo minter. Well, first of all, if you didn't mint the Nomo of the day today yet, go to nomo.wtf and you can still do so. If you remember from the earlier show, it is a floating cookie head. Unfortunately, though, because you were not too quick on the draw, you'll pay 0.099 ETH now, and it's going up every single second. Well, not every single second, every 8 minutes.
It's like every 15 minutes or something.
Yeah, so grab yours for tomorrow, and I do have a lucky Nomo winner from yesterday. If we can get a little bit of a drum roll, please. Crypto TTJ. I see him or her always in the space, and his wallet is beautiful. It's literally all Nounish. There's not a single NFT in this wallet that is not nouns. It's the Swim Shady X Cullen. It's Noun Pepes. It's This Is Nouns. It's Mini Nouns. Nomo Nouns. Noun
awesome.
Peoples. Shark House. NARS. Art House. And more mini nouns. So nice looking wallet, Crypto TTJ. And you have just won yet another Nounish edition that is in the Nomo wallet that will be sent over to you this week. So congratulations to Mr. TTJ. Last thing I guess we should do here, RFG, is just talk about what is on slate here at the Noun Square, what's coming up in the next sort of 24-hour period.
Absolutely. So today, in just a little under 3 hours, we have Nouns Japan English Radio. It's an English language space about Nouns Japan happening in just under 3 hours, like I said, at 10:30 a.m. EST. Then after that, at 1 p.m., EST, we've got the Checkup. It's a weekly community space about checks. We've had one so far, and it was wonderful, so we turned it into a soapbox.
Yeah, we're doing really well so far. We've done one in a row. We're pretty happy with our consistency.
Yeah.
And hope to continue this into the future. We'll be joined by Warren again, the Art of Warren from Network State.
Oh, sweet.
Very cool guy. And it's going to be an interesting space because last space was before the burn, Super Burn Sunday. And this space will be sort of after. And we're not here to talk about floor price and all that stuff. We really want to just talk about the mechanics of this burn because it was really quite something. Jaleel and Jack Butcher really hit it out of the park in terms of making the checks burn a pretty good experience. I personally thought it was one of the most fun experiences I've had in Web3 in quite some time. So we're going to be chatting about that. We have some really cool guests. We've got Shripto. If you're not familiar with him, he's one of the first people who minted a singular red check on day one, which requires like 64 checks. So definitely a checks whale in his own right. He's going to be coming on to talk about how he thinks checks and nouns can work together. A little bit of alpha there, but he started a DAO called Black Check DAO. And he thinks that nouns could or should be involved in basically helping to create the first and maybe only black check, which requires quite a few initial check additions to be burned down to get that check. So it's already been established that it's already been established that without some major collaboration like in DAOs being formed, this would never happen. But he wants to talk about how he thinks it could happen. And we'll also be joined by our friend Digital Oil, friend of the show, Digital Oil, who was on 9 o'clock live yesterday. He's going to be coming on the Checkup today to talk about his experience with the burn, because he also burned a day one check, 64 checks down the burn, down in the burner, and came out with a nice neon green single check. So he's going to talk to us about that. Looking forward to it.
That's awesome. So that's in about 5 hours from now. Then we've got the weekly Nouner meeting in Discord happening just an hour after that at 2 p.m. Then there's the Nouner public town hall, also in the TNS Discord. That is happening at 5 p.m., 3 hours later, 5 p.m. EST or 10 p.m. UTC.
RFU, I think you might have been on the wrong day there for a second. We don't have the Nouner town hall in the afternoon. And actually, we don't have the public town hall yet until next week either. But we do have at 7 p.m. You can resume if you've got Wednesday up there with NounsDAO Amigos.
Oh, yeah. NounsDAO Amigos at 7 p.m. Okay. I was on the wrong day. You're right.
We forgive you.
So 7 p.m. Thank you. NounsDAO Amigos, that's in 11 hours. So 7 p.m. EST or midnight UTC. That is a Spanish language space. So come through. If you speak Spanish and you want to hang out at the Noun Square, it's a great time to do it. Then by the way,
just a shout out to NounsDAO Amigos. So I do a weekly space for Prop House on Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m. EST, and I was going through some of the entries in the open round 14 that's currently open for nouns on Prop House, and I saw a prop from some folks over at Amigos, and they have created a Spanish language TNS TikTok and Instagram, and they're looking to be funded by Prop House to sort of proliferate the sort of things that we do here and some of our content, translated into Spanish and get it up on the airwaves, which is amazing. It's very similar to what JP is doing for our Brazilian TikTok, and you just love to see it. First I'd heard of it.
Cool.
No one had to come to us for permission. That's the beauty of Creative Commons licensing, Creative Commons 0. Nobody had to come and ask us, hey, can we make a Spanish language to Noun Square, or will you sue us? We will not sue them. In fact, we will support them. So love that. Keep doing it, what you're doing, amigos.
This is the first time I'm hearing about that. That's so awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
In 12 hours from now, we've got a Food Noun o'clock, I believe, unless that was canceled today, which I don't think it was. It should be on, with Optoshi. That's a space that's all about food nouns. I'm not sure exactly what's going on today for that, but it's always a good time if you're interested in food.
I heard they were going to be talking about food and nouns.
I think that's probably a safe bet. But yeah, usually the space is about solving food scarcity and food access for people who maybe don't have access to food that's as easy as for us, those of us in the US or in Europe or whatever. So it's a really good space. Sometimes it's about fun, sometimes it's about access, sometimes it's about education. It's always a good time. And then every single day, 9:30 p.m. EST, there is the daily drop with That's Gnarly. Ben Body, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, cool. So each day there's a daily show for That's Gnarly, and it's a platform where extreme sports athletes can post their content and get paid. Basically, everyone can jump on there and buy editions of the daily mint, and that gives you votes as well to keep voting. So do NAS and so do ALPS tokens. So you basically jump on there, and instead of just liking people's content like you would on Instagram or something, it actually pushes them to the top, and then the highest voted ones get minted each day. And it's a celebration around that mint.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a trick, right? Theoretically, it could be anything that gets upvoted. It's usually going to be a trick, but
yeah, that's right. Exactly. It could really be anything. That's right. I have a feeling like if you did a hilarious joke standing on the edge of a cliff, then that would pass.
Yeah, it does. It sort of self-selects towards things that people who are in NARS are interested in. But I do love that it's a platform that really, as long as it's nounish and as long as it's the kind of thing that people in NARS would be interested in, the range for what you can get on that is incredible.
Yeah, it's actually super interesting when you think about that platform as a replacement for something like Instagram or as a supplement even, because the way it works, you can actually just plug Instagram posts into it. So, in this circumstance, you can onboard athletes from Instagram that don't know about it, and they can just share the links to their Instagram posts that they're putting up anyway, and potentially rise to the top and make some money. But that can, that could work for anything, to be honest. Like the platform could actually be expanded to encompass any kind of digital video content.
Awesome. After that, we wrap back around to today. I don't think we have anything on early Thursday morning. So after that, we wrap back around to 9 o'clock at the Noun Square. This space one more time tomorrow. And that's going to be at about 6:50 is when we're probably going to start that.
And we're going to be joined again by artmatr, our new daily guest here on the Noun Square.
So that Robot Fish Girl can continue asking the long list of questions. No.
Love it.
We actually have Lucas Santiago. I actually have to admit, I don't know who that is. I apologize, Lucas. Cardno booked this guest, I believe. Does anyone know who that is?
I don't, but I'm going to find out before the show.
Who in the world is Lucas Santiago? One of my favorite shows from my youth. You remember that show?
You got there about 2 seconds before me.
All right. Well, it'll be a mystery to find out who Lucas Santiago is. Join us tomorrow. How do we do this as like a BuzzFeed article? Lucas Santiago, who is he? Find out tomorrow on 9 o'clock live at the Noun Square. We don't even know.
That's it's not even a BuzzFeed article at that point. You're turning it into like, who is Lucas Santiago? Find out tomorrow on the Noun Square. Like
that's pretty much it. Yep, that sums it up. artmatr, thank you so much. Joshua, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to chat. Can't wait to see what you guys do. And please come back on again when you have something else to update.
Love it.
We'll definitely be back. And we'll make sure we have enough cots and Kool-Aid set up for the 28th of March.
I just want to reiterate,
you guys. Just buy one-way tickets. Just trust me on this.
We'll definitely try
one-way
ticket.
Buy a one-way ticket to our Cots and Kool-Aid. 100% certified, not a cult. NounsDAO.
I think we're all taking the 9999 tweets about keeping it weird very seriously. When people come to this space and listen to the conversation, they'll be like, "This is super weird, but I like it."
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yeah, hopefully they say that second part. Yeah.
It's not a cult. We're just a group of people who have like-minded interests and like to meet up frequently and talk about. You know what? I'm going to stop.
And for the normies who drop in, they're like, they liked us when we were a cult, and then they found out we were an NFT project, and then now they hate us.
Yeah. They're like, what do I stand for now? Oh my god.
Oh no, crypto.
Oh god.
All right.
Artists and technicians
thanks for having
talking to
us.
robots.
But yeah,
Thank you for
please come
having-
back again. Toady will probably, keep me locked in a closet somewhere if you come back so that I don't talk your ear off again. But this is so much fun. Thank you so much.
Isn't your studio in a closet already? I thought that's where you were doing these shows.
It kind of is. I mean, I do have sound baffling that isn't working.
She left New York, where everyone lives in a closet-sized apartment.
Yeah.
No, but like, that's apparently
I'm no longer in the Upper East Side
hack-
paying too much for a shoebox.
Actually, here's some alpha. We talked about CDT earlier in his podcast. He literally used to record his podcast inside of his closet because that was like a life
It's
hack
the best.
on how to get good sound. So,
CDT, I used to do that too when for all my VO gigs. I used to literally hang blankets up on all of the closet walls, and I'd record before I got like a VO setup. I used to record everything in a closet.
Well, and it's been a while since we've had Christian on the show. So if you're listening to this, CDT, feel free to come out of the closet and come on the show again. Wait, sorry, that came out wrong. That's not what,
no, that's what I did, Tony.
All right, I think we've done enough for one day. We've subjected the Nouns folk to enough. Let's call it.
Let's call it. We've got a music suggestion from Toady. Thank you so much. What the hell did you send me? Thank you so much for coming. We will see you back here for Nouns Radio Japan in just 2 hours.
I thought we minted an NFT UFO, did we not?
We did.
Thank you, everyone.
You got to get that speaker nice and close. Get that speaker nice and close. You can't hear the UFO music.
Trials and tribulations of recording on a shotgun mic. I have to be really directional.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, y'all.
Okay, this is pretty sick, I will admit. Thanks for joining. I'm going to rug you all so that I can go get something to eat.